It's a very good afternoon to our viewers and welcome to the afternoon's English News Bulletin here on Channel 2. I'm Angie Meher and we begin straight away with a look at our news where the Israeli occupation military on Monday issued evacuation orders covering several areas including Rafah and nearby areas, indicating it could soon launch another major ground aggression in the Gaza Strip's southernmost city. Israelis ended their ceasefire with the Hamas group and renewed their air and ground war earlier this month. At the beginning of March, it cut off all supplies of food, fuel, medicine and humanitarian aid to the territory's roughly 2 million, saying it aims to pressure Hamas to accept proposed changes to the truce agreement. Israeli military has ordered Palestinians to head to Moassia's sprawl of squalid tent camps along the coast. The orders came during Eid al-Fitr, normally a festive Muslim holiday, marking the end of the fasting month of Ramadan. The Israeli occupation military has seized a strategic corridor along the border as well as the Rafah crossing, Gaza's only gateway to the outside world that was not controlled by the Israelis. 4 Palestinians were killed by Israeli occupation bombardment on central Gaza on Tuesday. The bombardment targeted their home in the vicinity of the water desalination station in Deir al-Balah. Palestinian journalist was also killed with all his family members in an Israeli occupation bombardment of their house in Khan Yunis in southern Gaza. An Israeli occupation drone also bombed the house of the Palestinian journalist Mohammed Saleh al-Bardawil in the Japanese neighborhood to the west of Khan Yunis, killing him, his wife and 3 children. An Israeli strike on Lebanon's southern suburb on Tuesday killed 3 people. A source close to Hezbollah said one of the resistance group's officials was targeted in the second such strike on South Beirut during a fragile 4-month ceasefire. The attack came without warning at 3:30 a.m. during the Eid al-Fitr Muslim holiday, marking the end of the Ramadan fasting month. It struck after Israelis also raided Beirut's southern suburbs, bastion of support for Lebanon's Hezbollah group, last Friday, after issuing an evacuation warning. Lebanon's health ministry said the latest strike killed 3 people and wounded 7 others. Israeli occupation military said the strike targeted a Hezbollah resistance fighter who'd recently directed Hamas operatives and assisted them in planning a significant and imminent attack against the Israelis. Yemen's Houthis said Tuesday they shot down another American MQ-9 Reaper drone. Houthis said they hit the drone in Marib Governorate, home to oil and gas fields still under the control of allies to Yemen's exiled central government. The reported shoot-down over Yemen's contested governorate came as U.S. airstrikes hit around Sana'a, the country's capital. U.S. President Donald Trump has issued a new warning to both the Houthis and Iran, describing the group as having been decimated by the campaign of strikes that began March 15th. He said the Houthis' capabilities that threaten shipping and region are rapidly being destroyed, adding U.S. attacks will continue until they were no longer a threat to freedom of navigation. Meanwhile, Iran said it would have to acquire a nuclear weapon if attacked by the United States or its allies. The warning was made by an advisor to the country's supreme leader on Monday, following a threat by U.S. President Donald Trump. The comments came after Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, promised to hit back if Trump carried out a threat to bomb Iran if it did not make a deal to curb its nuclear program. Trump said earlier they would be bombing if Iran did not agree to a nuclear deal. U.S. media also said Trump threatened to punish Tehran with what he called secondary tariffs. Despite the sharpening of Trump's comments, it was not clear if he was threatening a U.S. bombing or an operation coordinated with another party. The Ukrainian Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha said Tuesday that Ukraine will work with the United States towards a mutually accepted text of a minerals deal that the 2 countries can sign. He told a press conference that 1 round of consultations had already taken place on a new draft of the minerals deal and that an agreement providing for a strong American business presence in Ukraine will contribute to the country's security infrastructure. The statement came after U.S. President Donald Trump said that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky wants to back out of the deal, warning that the Ukrainian leader would face big problems if he did. Moving to Myanmar, the United Nations said on Tuesday that shelter, clean water and medicine were in short supply following the earthquake in Myanmar that has caused significant structural damage and had a devastating human death toll. UN's Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs, Myanmar's resident, made the remarks to reporters. He said the time window for critical search and rescue is narrowing. He added people in affected areas spent the night in the opening because there was no electricity or running water. Myanmar's military leader, meanwhile, said in a televised address on Tuesday that the death toll had reached 2,719 people and is expected to rise to more than 3,000. He added 4,521 people were injured and still over 441 were missing. The 7.7 magnitude quake, which hit around lunchtime on Friday, is the strongest to hit the Southeast Asian country in more than a century, toppling ancient pagodas and modern buildings alike. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we wrap up this English News Bulletin here on Channel 2. You were in the company of myself, Angie Meher. Thank you for watching.